Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2022. This year, we need to get a lot done in this fish room because it's looking really messy, especially the middle section right here. This is the area that we need to work on first. First things first. This center section. All the tanks along the walls, all the rackings are kind of done for the ones along the wall. But the middle is just kind of like a storage area right now. You can see it's where I'm like storing all my wood pieces, just gravel sitting around. We've got equipment that's not even aquarium related. We've got tanks sitting around here, and just a bunch of junk that I need to organize. So that's the first thing we need to get done this year before I start setting more tanks up, because I'm already setting tanks up and it's really annoying when you set a tank up in a messy area. I want things to be clean before I set stuff up, so it's kind of my fault. I should have got this done from the very beginning, but I was planning. That's kind of my excuse, so I don't like excuses, but that's kind of the reality. I just had to plan everything out, and right now I think I have a good plan, a good image of how I want this fish room to look, so I think it's time to start, start working. So take a look at this space right here. So I think I've done a pretty decent job opening up the middle. What I've basically done is I've just pushed everything to the corner, so you can see that side is really messy right now, but it'll get all sorted out once we build the rack. So I need this open space right here so that I can put these pieces, these boards, these 2x4s down, lay them out, and start building the racks, because these are quite tall. It's gonna be the same height as this rack right here, pretty tall. So I'm gonna probably start putting this thing together, and once we build the rack, we can start organizing some of my stuff, my aquarium stuff, onto the rack. So in the meantime, I'm gonna keep working. It's gonna be so much fun, so exciting to see this fish room come together, become much tidier. It's gonna be a really nice feeling, so let's get back to work. And by back to work, I mean I gotta go out and get some 2x4s, because I've got the vertical pieces right here, but I don't have the horizontal pieces, so I'm gonna need to go out, get 6 of those.
Bluetooth mode.
Alright, it's time to start painting these 2x4s. Not my favorite part of building racks, but just to make it look better, the color we're choosing is walnut. And guys, take a look at that. The rack is all put together, looking really nice. It's gonna stay in the middle of this room. We'll talk more about it in just a moment, but it's the same length as this rack right here. It's over 6 feet long. You can put 2 3-foot tanks here, 1 3-foot tank here, and another 3-foot tank there. Or what I plan to do is maybe have some 2-foot tanks stacked lengthways. Is that how you say it? But let's go back there and take a look. So right now the fish room is looking really messy because of all the work I've just done, but I've also got to finish painting these up, which is not going to be a hard job to get done, so that can happen later. But you can kind of see the rack here. Really happy with this. So it's the exact same dimensions as I mentioned. Well, not the exact same, but the same length as this rack over here, but it's just deeper. So The front to back is 24 inches or 60 centimeters. I'll be able to put 3 2-foot tanks stacked like the not regular way. So you see that 2-foot tank kind of the other way. So the 30 centimeter side facing this way, and we can have 3 of those. But you guys, let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see. I want to set up a few betta tanks, and I'm not so sure. There's just so many things I could do. You guys let me know in the comments down below, and I'll think about what we can do on this channel. But take a look at the angelfish right here. This is also something I want to work on. I want to try breeding some fish, like these angelfish and rainbow fish as well. This tank right now, you can see they're all up in this corner. That's because this one guy right here is like just dominating the entire tank. He takes care of the entire tank, and he picks on everyone and makes sure that they stay in this corner. So this guy is really not a nice guy. But these are some of my favorite fish, and I always love that they're always active and always wanting to eat some food. Look at that, they're so cute. And they are going to get bigger too, so we're gonna have a nice setup for them soon in the future. Right now this is just a temporary tank. Remember that just a while ago we had the Amazon style tank for those angelfish, but things just changed, and I had to do stuff in this fish room and had to move those guys and just redo the tank, and right now they're just in this simple temporary holding tank. So very soon in the future you guys will see these angelfish right here will be put in a really beautiful tank, and I just can't wait for that day to come. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, because I've got some amazing plans for those fish over there. But right now we gotta finish this thing up, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this mess up. So I'd say we're about halfway done. It's looking much better than what it did before. You might be wondering why I've got so many of these styrofoam boxes. I've got 10 of them right now, and I've still got a couple more outside. But the main reason why I've got this is because I was planning to do some immersed plant growing in here. Immersed aquatic plants. You know, aquatic plants can be grown in the aquarium, but most plants can also be grown out of water. And I was planning to do them in these styrofoam boxes, but just recently I went to the dollar store and I found this right here. And this seems to be a much better option. It's a little bit more shallow, so there's not much room for soil, but it's basically a greenhouse. It's not made to be a greenhouse. It's made to be like one of these things to dry off your plates and cups and stuff like that. Hood with colander tray. But it's perfect as a greenhouse. It'll work during the winter time. It can keep the plants warm. I might have to open up a few holes for ventilation. But take a look at this. And I did get a bunch more. I bought out the whole store. There was only 5 sets. So let me know what you guys think about this. The bottom part was $1. The top part is $1. $2 for one set of this. I'm gonna be really excited to try growing some plants in this. And now I gotta do something about these wooden boxes over here. I've got 5 of them just stacked up, sitting right there in the way. But what's inside it? Some of you may know, I've got my aquascaping rocks inside. Like this one right here is empty, but the middle one has some mantan stone. You can see I've labeled them. It's mantan stone in here. And then the bottom one has a bunch of lava rock. Over here, this one has this stone called K. It's called K stone. It's like an orangish, pinkish color stone. And then this one here is Ryuo, also known as Seiryu stone. And I'm super excited about this because I recently just picked up some really nice Ryuo stone. They're pretty large size and they look cool. Looking forward to doing Iwagumi soon, but I gotta get these out of this room. I don't like having them in here. I wanna maybe store them outside, so I'm gonna bring them out. Oh, that's heavy, man. That's not light! Probably not the best idea putting these wood boxes right here, but for the time being I just gotta do what works, and it's gonna stay here for a while. And it's also not gonna be easy moving this bike in and out, but yeah, let's go and take a look inside the fish room and see what changes have been made. Alright, so I've also done a little bit of drawing to show you guys how this fish room looks. So right here where my thumb is the entrance. And then I plan to have a sink right here, right in front of us right there. And then you can see the two racks side by side, which are these. This one's gonna hold 2-foot tanks. Right now it's just holding 2 cube tanks right there, but we're gonna have 2-foot tanks up here, and then we've got the 2 3-foot tanks, well 4 actually, 6 maybe, adding those. But yeah, that is this side wall right here. So sorry, it's hard doing this with one hand, so I hope I don't make you guys dizzy or confused or whatever. But then from the entrance, if we turn left to where my thumb is right now, the 4-foot tank stacked. It's this thing right here. So this is the planted 𝗶𝘃𝘀𝗀𝘀 jungle tank, and then below that, I plan to have a 4-foot African cichlid tank. Hopefully, if the plan lasts. But that's the plan for this right here. And then next to that, the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝘀 aquascaped aquarium. It's right behind this piece of paper right now. I can't really show you guys because that is going to be entered in the 2022 𝗯𝘂𝘃𝗀𝘀 contest, and I want to try to get a good ranking like last year, and to do that I can't really show anyone the tank until the contest is over. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just how it is. And then you might be wondering, what are these squiggly lines on the corner of the paper right here? Well, that is basically my uncle's section of the room that he's currently using. It's all where he stores all his car parts and all his items. I'm not so sure what he has, but you can see he's got a Volkswagen. He's got some spare parts for it, so that's currently where he's keeping his stuff. Pretty messy. When I have time, I'll probably help him clean up some of his stuff, but for now it's just like this. Yeah, nothing I can really do about it, but maybe we can clean this up and make it look better. What I really want to do is I want to build that wall and make it like a tool wall where you can hang all your tools and something like that. I think it'll look really nice and be super useful, but for now it's just what it is. And then the middle section. Okay, let me put this down to make it a little bit easier. So this right here is the rack that we just built today. This monster of a rack. Pretty tall. Taller than me. Well, not taller than me actually. Yeah, I'm still taller than it, but pretty tall rack. And then over here, this right here, is this messy section right in front of us, is where I want to build the final stand. It's going to be an aquarium stand, and one day I hope to have a monster aquarium. I'm not so sure what fish I'd want to keep in that tank yet, but someday when I save up the funds, when I've got the money to do that, I really want to do that. That's kind of like my dream. It's gonna be a dream tank for me, and it's gonna have probably the dream fish during that time for me too. And I don't know, right now my dream fish is angelfish for some reason. I just love angelfish, so maybe if that's still the dream in the future, I'll have like a beautiful angelfish biotop tank. But for now, that's just a dream. So hopefully we'll build a stand out and we'll start planning and doing small stuff, and as time goes maybe we can get a big tank. But now let's take a look at the final section. So we've looked at all these right here and the middle. Now we go and take a look at this rack right there. That is kind of the 10-gallon breeding rack. And right now, it's not all 10 gallons. There's a 15-gallon right there, 2-foot tank, and then another 2-foot tank right there, and then 10 gallons stacked up that I haven't used yet. So slowly, we're gonna get things done. But this rack right here just currently holds some random fish. We've got the 𝗂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 guppies, and they are just gorgeous. Some of the females, man, they are holding some babies, and yeah, pretty cool. So we've got 2 tanks of 𝗂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 guppies. Over here we've got the 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 rainbow fish that I showed you last video. And yes, this tank may be a little bit small for them, but for the time being, these fish are still young, they're still small, but they're breeding. So this tank is just basically for breeding purposes. Remember last video I mentioned that we'll have a 3-foot tank just for these 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 rainbow fish. A planted tank. These tanks actually will most likely all be planted, and it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for that. So there are the 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀. Next to that, take a look at these fish. These are one of my new recent favorite fish. They're the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀. and they just look so cool for a rasbora. They get pretty large, and yes, this tank is also a bit too small for them, but it's basically mostly just for quarantine right now. I recently got them, so yeah, for a few weeks they'll be in this tank getting quarantined, but look at how nice they look. Alright, and then in the tank below we've got the Sabor resplendens, the Asian rummy nose rasbora, and this tank is super messy. You can kind of see them swimming in the back, but it's just got frog bit everywhere in this tank if you take a look from the top. So, and then up above this tank right here, I've got some killifish. They're also kind of just waiting to go into a permanent setup. But what's interesting is that they've bred in here. I've seen babies swimming around, but unfortunately there's not enough cover for the babies, so they just get eaten by the parents. But yeah, I'd love to set up a proper tank for them, a planted tank where they can breed and have nice little baby killifish. And I forgot to show you guys this tank right here, but this is where all my tetras are. All my red phantom tetras, my royal tetras, as well as the cardinal tetras are just currently temporarily being held in this tank with some plants. These were all from my aquascaped aquarium, my last 120p aquascape, and you can see some of the plants that I used previously are just floating in here, so I've got to get them planted in a proper tank. But you can see the fish are really healthy. They look awesome. So that is that. So this space is much cleaner now. You can see all these styrofoam boxes. Not so sure what I'm gonna do with that, but I've organized some stuff up. We will get boards for this area so that I can put my tanks on top of them one at a time, slowly, because I'm not going to be able to fill this entire space up with tanks all at one go, because that's kind of expensive. Yeah, we're going to go the slow and steady way of setting one tank up at a time. And you can see over there some of my aquascaping supplies. We've got gravel, we've got soil over here, base fertilizing substrate, and then check this out, 𝗲𝘾𝘃𝗀𝘀𝘀, the new WRGB Pro 90 centimeter light. So we're going to be using this for one of these setups over here. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I can't wait to start adding more tanks into this room, and I can't wait to see how this room turns out in the next few months. And I hope you guys are excited too. But until next time, Happy New Year to you, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, I'll see you next time.